Welcome to the Shreveport Connection with Tommy. This video is on your SummerSlam results and pre-show results as well. Well, the actual pre-show started at 4:30. Well, I missed the first part of it, thinking that they wouldn't go to the last couple matches during the last hour. I take my daughter home to meet her mom. As it started at 4:30, I missed the four matches. I missed 3 out of the 4 matches on the pre-show. First match had Rusev versus Lana versus Rusev and Lana versus Andrade, Almas, and Zelina Vega. Tom Phillips and Byron Saxon and Corey Graves on commentary as we go to ring. Andrade, Almas, and Vega were out first for this opening match, as Greg Hamilton does the ring introduction. Rusev and Lana were out next for this mixed tag team match. Fan chant Rusev Day as the bell rings. Rusev starts off with Almas as they lock up. They break, and Almas goes to the floor. Rusev chases him back in, and they run the ropes. Almas ducks, poses on the ropes. Vega poses under him. Rusev hits the corner and poses with Lana as the two teams face off. Rusev chases Almas again, but gets kicked back. Almas decks Rusev and brings him back in. Almas knees to the gut. Rusev unloads in the corner after turning it around. Rusev stands tall for a pop. Fans chant for Rusev as he keeps control and scoops Almas up for a slam. Vega ends up distracting Rusev, allowing Almas to turn it around. Almas sends Rusev back to the steel ring post in the corner as Almas ties Rusev's arm up in the ropes as the referee counts a 5. Almas brings Rusev back to the middle of the ring and works on the arm, keeping him grounded. Screen splits with a promo for tonight's Universal title match. Rusev was looking for a tag until Vega pulled Lana off the apron. Almas with a modified DDT for a 2 count. Almas continued working on the arm of Rusev. Rusev ends up running into a boot in the corner. Rusev keeps going and manages to knock Almas from the top to the floor. Lana finally tags in, as does Vega. They go at it, and Lana gets the upper hand, hitting a spin and a Rooney. Lana with a double knees and a back elbow into the corner. Lana goes on and hits a neck breaker for a 2 count. Vegas rolls to the floor to escape. Lana follows and slams Vega's face into the apron. Lana rolls her back in and elbows her again. Lana scoops Vega and slams her in the middle of the ring for a 2 count. Lana charges, but Vega sends her face first into the middle turnbuckle. Vega with a big kick to the face in the corner. Vega charges, but for double knees, but Lana jumps up with a big kick. Lana holds up as Almas taunts her from the apron. Rusev pulls Almas off, but Almas drops him back into a barrier. Lana catches a kick and drops Vega on her face in the middle of the ring. Almas tries to distract again, but Lana snapped him. Vega takes advantage of the distraction and rolls Lana up for the win, putting her feet on the ropes for the cheating leverage pin. Winning the match, Zelina Vega and Andrade, seeing Almas. After the match, a disappointed Rusev and Lana look on as Vega and Almas celebrate. We go to replays. Vega and Almas back up the ramp as Rusev and Lana still looking on. We go back to the panel, and Hall of Famer Jerry the King Lawler was out. Lawler is in good spirits as the panel runs down the SummerSlam card again. Charlie Caruso is backstage approaching Paul Heyman as he enters Brock Lesnar's locker room. Heyman says Lesnar is going to get rid of the big dog tonight. He also says Lesnar is preparing to be the next UFC heavyweight champion and will beat Daniel Cormier. Heyman goes on about Lesnar's finally getting rid of Roman Reigns tonight as he prepares to become a 2-sport champion. Heyman says the big dog will not be coming back for more this time, and that's not a prediction, that's a spoiler. We go back to the panel for a discussion on tonight's WWE Universal title match. We go back to the 205 Live General Manager, Drake Maverick, Raw General Manager, Kurt Angle, and SmackDown General Manager, Paige. They all discuss some of tonight's matches until constipated Constable Baron Corbin walks in to make sure Angle is on top of his game tonight, and so he doesn't get a call from Raw Commissioner Stephanie McMahon. Angle mentions Corbin going to prepare for Finn Balor, and Corbin says he will put Balor away in short order tonight. Cruiserweight title match was up next. Drew Gulak versus Cedric Alexander. Back for the ring, we have new announcers for the pre-show. Vic Joseph, Percy Watson, and Nigel McGuinness. We go to the ring, and out comes Drew Gulak, Gallagher, and O'Brien Kendrick are banned from ringside during this match. Cruiserweight champion Cedric Alexander was out next. Who else? On the bell rings, Cedric takes Gulak to the corner. They break and lock up. Going back to the corner, they break again. Cedric talks some trash as Gulak watches from the corner. They lock up and go to the mat, trading holds. Gulak ends up taking control and going to work. They trade close calls, and Cedric nails a drop kick. Gulak goes to the floor, but Cedric follows and decks him. Cedric keeps control and brings him back in. Gulak nails a big kick, dropping Cedric on the apron. Gulak goes to the floor and slams Cedric from the apron to the floor, dropping his neck over the knee. Gulak brings it back in and keeps Cedric grounded in the middle of the ring as the screen splits with a promo for tonight's WWE title match. Back to the break, Gulak still has Cedric down. Drew levels Cedric again and kicks at him while talking more trash. Gulak with a close out for a 2 count. Gulak with a version of the gory special. Cedric slides out and fights back. Cedric drops Gulak hard with a flatliner. Alexander with more strikes. Cedric drops Gulak again and mounts him with a bunch of punches. Gulak puts on the brakes and rolls out to the floor for a breather, but Cedric leaps over the top, taking Gulak down on the outside. More back and forth now. Cedric creates an opening, but gets dropped over the top turnbuckle. Gulak uses the ropes only to apply the gulak, but he breaks it as the referee counts. Gulak with a close 2 count. Gulak goes for another gulak, but Cedric fights him off. Cedric drops Gulak with a stiff back elbow, and then they both go down. Cedric keeps control until Gulak rocks him, and he goes down. Gulak rolls Cedric up for a 2 count. Gulak with another pin attempt. Cedric comes off the ropes, but Gulak drops him into an ankle lock attempt. More back and forth, and a near falls between the two. Cedric comes out with a pin attempt and rolls Gulak up for the pin. After the match, Cedric takes the title on the outside and celebrates as his music hits. Gulak watches from the ring as Cedric's arm is raised by the referee. We go back to the panel, and this is where I come in, right about 5 o'clock to 5:05. And JBL and Rosenberg are on the ramp again. They discussed tonight's SmackDown Women's Triple Threat match. And JBL believes Becky Lynch may have the advantage. They send us to a video package for Samoa Joe versus AJ Styles. Joe joins the panel from backstage and takes questions. Joe is very confident going into tonight's match and says he has AJ right where he wants him. Joe sends AJ a message that says he's coming for the title and will put AJ to sleep tonight. Renee sends us back to JBL and Rosenberg for the discussion on the match. They send us back to the ring. And you got the Raw Tag Team title match. The Revival versus the B-Team. 5:15 p.m. The match starts. We go to the ring where Michael Cole is with Jonathan Coachman and Corey Graves. Out first comes the Revival, Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder. Joe does ring introductions. Out next comes the Raw Tag Team Champions, the B-Team. Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel, for those that don't know. Well, you do know, because I just told you so. Dallas starts off with Dawson. Dallas takes Dawson to the mat with a headlock. Dash tags in for double team on Dallas. Dash knocks Axel off the apron. Revival nails a shatter machine to Axel as he comes back out of nowhere. Dallas is selling a leg injury after a jacket screw leg whip. The Revival focuses on the hurt leg now. Dawson takes Dallas out and covers for 3 straight pin attempts. Dawson continues working on the leg and keeping Dallas down. Screen splits for a promo for tonight's Raw Women's title match. Dash keeps Dallas down and tags in Dawson for some double teaming. Axel is still down on the floor due to the shatter machine. Dawson works Dallas around and the referee checks on him. Dallas kicks out of a leg hold, sending Dawson into the steel ring post. Dallas with a pin attempt. Axel comes right back to the apron, but Dash knocks him off with a running boot. Dash holds Dallas down while Dawson comes off the top with a knee to the jaw. Dawson covers, but Dallas kicks out of two. Dallas finally gets a good opening after a neck breaker, and Axel returns to the ring, returns to the apron. Axel then tags in and unloads on Dawson. Dawson plays to the crowd and hits a neck breaker on Dawson. I think that's a typo from the reporter. Dash comes off the top, but Axel catches him in midair. Dawson comes from behind for a pin attempt, but it's blocked. There's chaos in the ring as all four superstars are going at it tornado style, getting all involved. Dawson rolls Axel up and gets more than a 3 count, but the referee was distracted by Dash and Dallas on the apron. Dash drops Dallas neck first over the top rope. Dallas bumps back into Axel and Dawson, forcing Axel to turn the roll up cover for the pin on Dawson. Winners by accident, B team supposedly. After the match, B team celebrate, takes the titles, and off their music plays. We go to replays. Revival looks on disappointed as B team still is your tag team champions. We go back to the panel to go over tonight's matches again. We see Ronda Rousey backstage warming up. Charlotte Caruso approaches Alexa Bliss backstage and tries to get comments, but Bliss refuses to speak and walks off. Panel discusses Rousey versus Bliss next, and that sends us to a video package for tonight's Universal title match. The panel, JBL Rosenberg, discuss the match next. JBL and Rosenberg wrap up their gigs, and they are off to watch the show. Panel talks more about Reigns versus Lesnar before Renee Raps plugs SummerSlam on the WWE Network. One more time, NBC says Rollins and Dean Ambrose backstage walking. That's it for SummerSlam kickoff pre-show, which ended about 5 minutes early. SummerSlam kicks off with a video package featuring actor Terry Crews. You know, the old Spice guy. We're live from a sold-out Barclays Center in Brooklyn as Michael Coleslaw welcomes us to SummerSlam, joined in by John Graves and Corey Graves. Intercontinental title match up first. That's Rollins versus Dolph Ziggler. We go to the ring. Out first comes Dean Ambrose. He waits. As Seth makes his way out. Ambrose will be in Rollins' corner tonight. JoJo does ring introductions as Ambrose and Rollins head to the ring together. Intercontinental Champion Dolph Ziggler was out next. He came out first, waiting on Drew McIntyre to accompany Ziggler to the ring. McIntyre will be in Ziggler's corner for the match. Coleslaw welcomes us some of the international announced teams at ringside. Bell ring and they size each other up. Rollins looks to take control, but Ziggler Ziggler backs him up against the ropes to take control. McIntyre looks to provide a distraction, but Ambrose marches over and gets in his face. Rollins rolls Ziggler up for a 2 count. Ziggler uppercuts Rollins and rolls him up for a 2 count. Rollins blocks a super kick. They tangle. Ziggler goes to the floor to regroup as the fans boo. They come back in and Ziggler raises his arm for a lockup, but he kicks Rollins with a cheap shot instead. Ziggler slams Rollins into the turnbuckle. Rollins makes a counter and hip tosses Ziggler. More back and forth now. They go out and come back in with Rollins chopping Ziggler into the corner. Rollins taunts McIntyre and keeps control of Ziggler. Ziggler whips Rollins hard into the corner, but Rollins comes right out of a clothesline. Ziggler counters a suplex and lands on his feet. More back and forth as Ziggler rocks Rollins while his leg is on the middle rope. Softening up the knee, Ziggler nails a neck breaker for a 2 count. Ziggler keeps control of the corners now. Ambrose comes back over to make sure McIntyre isn't interfering at Ziggler's request. Ziggler focuses on the knee and keeps Rollins down as the fans chant for help. Ziggler whips Rollins hard into the corner. Rollins lands out on the apron, hitting it hard. He then falls to the floor. Ziggler brings him back into the ring and keeps Rollins down in the middle of the ring. Rollins gets up, but Ziggler brings him back down. McIntyre laughs as Ziggler stays on top of Rollins on the mat. Rollins powers back up, but Ziggler brings him back down by targeting the injured knee. Ziggler with a sleeper hold on the mat. Rollins looks to try for another comeback, but Ziggler back shots him over the top, and Rollins lands hard on the floor with his knee going out. Referee starts counting. Ziggler goes out and brings Rollins back in. Rollins ends up rolling through after a crossbody counter. Rollins goes for a superplex counter, but this causes both superstars to fall over the top rope to the floor. They land hard, and the referee counts. Rollins and Ziggler both make it back in the ring to break the count. Ziggler runs into a boot to the face. Rollins nails a sling blade. Rollins mounts more momentum, but Ziggler rolls him up for a 2 count. Rollins comes back and nails a blockbuster for a 2 count. Rollins goes up top, but Ziggler jumps up and crosses him. Ziggler rocks Rollins and climbs up. Rollins blocks a superplex and sends Ziggler out down to the mat. Ziggler rolls out of the way. Rollins charges and clotheslines Ziggler out of the ring. Rollins runs the ropes and nails a suicide dive. Rollins brings Ziggler back in and springboards at him with a flying clothesline. Rollins with a ripcord knee and a close 2 count. Rollins goes for the buckle bomb now, but Ziggler rocks him. And to avoid it, Rollins tries again, but Ziggler applies a sleeper hold. Rollins tosses Ziggler to the mat to break the hold. Ziggler counters the move and looks to end it. Ziggler catapults Rollins into the ring post on the apron and then catches the rebound to drop Rollins on the floor onto the apron with a big DDT. Rollins lands out on the floor as the referee counts. Ambrose barks at Rollins to get up. Rollins makes it in back in the ring before the 10 count. Ziggler pounds on Rollins as the referee warns him. Ziggler tells Rollins to come on and bring it. Rollins then blocks a zigzag, drops Ziggler with a big super kick to the jaw. Rollins goes up top for the frog splash, but Ziggler gets his knees up. Ziggler gets a 2 count. Ziggler takes out the knee again, but Rollins blocks a famouser. Rollins positions Ziggler over the top turnbuckle now. Rollins ends up climbing to the top with an inverted suplex. He holds that, rolls through, and plants Ziggler with a modified sidewalk slam for a close 2 count. Rollins gets a huge pop for the crowd now. They start chanting, "This is awesome," as Rollins gets up, cranks up for the stomp. Fans chant, "Burn it down now." Drew then launches Ambrose into the steel ring steps. Ziggler takes advantage of the distraction and hits a zigzag on Rollins for a close 2 count. Ziggler cranks up for the super kick now. Rollins blocks it and rolls him up for a 2 count. Ziggler uses the tights for a roll up. Can't get the 3 count. Rollins tries again and powers up with the buckle bomb. Drew gets on the apron for a distraction, but Ambrose pulls him off and nails dirty deeds on the floor on McIntyre. Rollins then turns around as he sees that action. And Ziggler comes up. Super kick by Rollins. And Ziggler tries to get up. And the stomp by Rollins. Pin and winner and new Intercontinental Champion, Seth Rollins. After the match, Ambrose looks on as Rollins is handed the title in the middle of the ring. We go to replays. Ambrose joins Rollins in the ring for the celebration as the heels recover on the floor. Renee Young backstage with the Bella Twins. They won't say if they're wrestling at Revolution or not because they're focused on so many projects these days. They do reveal that they will be ringside to watch Ronda Rousey and make history against Alexa Bliss tonight. SmackDown Tag Team title match. New Day versus Bludgeon Brothers. We go to Tom Phillips, Byron Saxon, and Graves on commentary. Out first comes the New Day, Big E, Xavier with Kofi Kingston. SmackDown Tag Team Champions Bludgeon Brothers are out next. Woods starts off with Rowan as they go at it. Rowan floors Woods with a big kick. Harper tags in and drops Woods for a close 2 count. Harper with a great getter roll to keep Woods grounded. Harper with more offense as Rowan comes back in. Rowan ends up hitting a big splash on the mat. Rowan keeps Woods grounded again. Rowan continues dominating Woods. Harper tags in and comes over the top rope with a senton. They knock Big E off the apron next and slams him on the outside. Woods gets tossed back to the floor. They take apart the ring steps as Rowan goes to slam Woods on them, but Woods fights him off. Harper tries next, but Woods sends him face first into the steel. Rowan tries to stop Big E from tagging, but he gets it. Big E was huge suplexes to both opponents on the floor. Harper eats a big suplex in the ring. Big E runs the ropes and splashes Harper down. Big E rallies the fans and misses a big ending. Harper catches Big E with a sit-down power bomb for a close 2 count. Big E fights off a double team. Woods comes in and takes down Rowan on the floor. Harper catches Woods with a big side slam on the floor. Big E spears Harper from the apron to the floor. Rowan leaps off the apron and tackles Big E on the floor. Rowan brings Big E back into the ring as they go for the double team move. They hit the double crucifix bomb, but Woods breaks Harper's pin. Woods fights off of Rowan as Rowan tags in. Then kicking Harper in the head, Woods goes for a DDT, but it's blocked. They double team Woods, and Harper brings him to the mat with a big sit-down power bomb, but Woods still kicks out. Kobe rallies his fans for a new day. Harper can't believe Woods kicked out. Rowan takes out Kobe on the floor. Big E with a big inning to Rowan on the outside. Woods counters Harper and tags in Big E, but Harper kicks Woods out of the ring. Harper super kicks Big E. Big E slams Harper from the apron into a waiting Woods breaker on the floor. Big E returns to the ring, and Woods tags in while Harper is down on the floor. Woods goes to the top, and Harper rolls out of the ring. Woods turns around and nails a huge elbow drop to Harper on the floor. Big E crawls over to check on Woods, and as he gets up, Woods brings Harper in and tags in Big E. Big E scoots Harper as Woods goes to the top for a midnight hour. Rowan jumps up with a sledgehammer and knocks Woods off for the disqualification finish. Apparently, Rowan is injured. There's a comments after the match and what have you. After the bell, Rowan enters and decks Big E with the handle of the hammer. Harper delivers a big shot to Big E next. Greg Hamilton announces the New Day as the winners, but Harper and Rowan are still champions as they retain because you can't win by disqualification. New Day recovers on the floor as Bludgeon Brothers leave with their titles while the music hits. I guess when Big E and Rowan were tangled on the floor, something happened. Dislocated arm or tricep or something like that. So look for a rematch sometime soon. Back from the break, we see Jon Stewart ringside with his son. Video package for the next match. Braun Strowman. Get these hands versus Kevin Owens. We got a ring out first comes Kevin Owens. You know the stipulation of this match. As Braun Strowman's Money in the Bank briefcase is on the line. Fan check, get his hands, and was waiting for the bell. The bell rings, and Strowman charges and smashes Owens in the corner twice. Owens goes to the floor to recover, but Braun runs around the ring and levels Owens. Braun runs around again, floors Owens with another big shoulder. Fans are popping. Braun brings it into the ring, but Owens goes right back out. Escaping, Braun follows, and Owens kicks him. That does nothing. Braun then grabs Owens and chokes him on the ramp. Referee check on Owens. Braun brings it back in the ring and tells Owens to get up. Braun with a running power slam for the easy win. After the match, Braun stands tall and makes his briefcase to the stage as his music hits. We go to replays. Braun hits in the back as Owens recovers. And my buddy was saying KO will win. Wrong answer, Robert. I said he's got to go through Braun. Get these hands. You know what I mean? And back from the break with Blue Brand announces the lead us to a video package for the next match. SmackDown Women's title match, Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair versus Carmella. And I was predicting Charlotte to win this match. We go to the ring, out comes Charlotte. Becky Lynch was out first, followed by SmackDown Women's Champion Carmella. We get formal ring introductions from Greg Hamilton. Bell rings and Carmella starts moonwalking. Flair steps back a bit, and Becky gets rocked by Carmella. Becky turns around and hits a springboard kick in the corner. Becky with a running leg drop. More offense to Carmella. Carmella dodges the leg drop and covers for a 2 count. The Flair breaks up. Carmella shoves Flair back and yells at her. Carmella smacks Becky in the back of the head. Carmella leaves, and Becky thinks it was Flair who slapped her. Carmella comes back and tries to steal a pin on Flair. Becky and Flair argue about the slap. Carmella comes at them, and Becky hip tosses her down. Flair knocks Carmella to the floor. Becky and Flair have words. Carmella grabs Flair's leg from the floor. Becky goes for a quick pin attempt. Becky and Flair are more easy back and forth. Becky with an arm drag, and then another. Becky gets Flair down by her arm. Flair counters with a roll up attempt. Carmella ends up ramming Flair face first at the ring post on the floor. Carmella tangles with Becky next. Launches her into the steel ring steps. Carmella yells out of the crowd and gets some heat. Carmella brings Becky back in for a 2 count. Carmella slaps Becky around and yells at her. Becky looks to turn around, but Carmella elbows her and clotheslines her. Flair comes in, but Carmella counters and drops her by her hair for a 2 count. Carmella drives elbows into Flair and keeps her grounded. Carmella with a knee to the gut before tossing Flair out of the ring. Becky runs into steal the pin, but Carmella kicked out at 1. Carmella drop kicked Becky and smeared her face into the mat while running her mouth. Becky tries to fight up, while Carmella smacks her back down. Becky and Carmella trade pin attempts. Flair comes in and goes for Carmella, but drops Becky by accident. Flair and Carmella go at it now. Flair with a signature shot. Flair with an overhead throw to Carmella. Flair with more offense, including a bell in the back suplex. Flair then kips up for a pop. Flair goes for a figure 4, but Becky stops it. Becky goes to the top and drop kicks Flair and Carmella at the same time. Becky clotheslines Carmella and then Flair. Becky keeps control and unloads on Carmella now. Becky with a big exploder suplex to Carmella. Becky gets sent to the apron, but she goes to the top. Carmella crosses her. Carmella brings Becky back to the mat. Covers for a 2 count. Flair gets back in the mix and tries for a 2 count on 2 straight pins on Becky. Carmella takes Flair out, but shows some frustration. Carmella takes Flair to the top. Flair turns it back around and applies a Boston Crab in the middle of the ring. Flair turns that into a figure 4. Becky goes up top and nails a big leg drop to break the submission. Becky with a 2 count on Flair as Carmella breaks it up. Becky and Flair trade shots. Carmella sends Becky to the apron and knocks her off. Carmella runs the ropes for a suicide dive and nails it, taking Becky down on the floor. Flair goes up to the top now and nails a moonsault to the floor, hitting Carmella, but Becky also falls. Flair brings Becky back into the ring. Becky counters the natural selection, turns that into a disarmer submission. Carmella breaks that up. Becky tosses Carmella to the floor. Becky blocks a boot from Flair and drops Flair on her head with a Uranage. Carmella breaks Becky's pin at 2. Carmella counters Becky and sends her to the turnbuckles. Carmella with 2 count using ropes. The cheating win. And Carmella drops Becky with a kick, but Flair breaks up that pin attempt. Carmella then kicks Flair out of the ring and talks trash. Becky goes for the disarmer but can't get it locked in. Becky tries again and gets the hold locked in and its fans pop. Carmella gets to the ropes to break the hold. Becky then nails the back exploder in the middle of the ring. Becky applies a submission again, but Flair runs in and breaks it up with a natural selection. Flair covers Becky to win the title. After the match, Flair takes the title as Carmella immediately rolls to the floor and cries. Becky watches from the mat as Flair stands up with the title, raising it in the air. Carmella heads to the back. Fans boo Flair and cheer Becky's name as she stands up. They speak and hug in the middle of the ring. Becky pulls back and slaps Flair to the mat with a stiff blow. Fans go wild as Becky beats on Flair and kicks her out of the ring. Becky raises the title as the chants continue. Becky goes to the floor and stands over Flair. Becky launches Flair into the barrier and then over the announce table. Fan chant, "You deserve it," as Becky marches to the back. Officials check on Flair, who was still down by a German announce desk. And they shook hands a couple of times, pulling each other like face first before that actual heel turn, Becky. And we go to a break, and we're going to come back from a break. Promo for the next match, Samoa Joe versus AJ Styles for your WWE title. We go to ring out first, comes Samoa Joe. WWE Champion AJ Styles is up next. We see AJ's wife, Wendy, and her daughter at ringside. Hamilton does for ring introductions. Joe interrupts Hamilton and points out Wendy, telling her not to worry because Daddy is coming home tonight. AJ is ready to fight now. AJ says his family came for one reason, to see him kick Joe's ass. We got to lock up, but Joe tries for a kick, and AJ ducks it. It sounds like there's a TNA chance to start. They lock up and break with Joe talking some trash after a thumb to the eye attempt. They lock up again and Joe takes it to the corner. Referee breaks him up, and Joe gets in a cheap shot. They lock up again, fan do dueling chances. AJ applies a headlock. Joe ends up dropping AJ with a big shoulder. AJ connects with a big stiff kick to the leg. They go to lock up again. AJ delivers another kick to the leg. AJ goes for another kick, but Joe drops him with a harder kick. Joe unloads on AJ. Back and forth strikes between the two. They run the ropes, and AJ nails a drop kick. Joe fights up and connects with a jab. AJ comes right back with a sliding kick. AJ sends Joe back into the announce table. AJ goes to springboard out, but the referee stops him. Joe leans on the apron for a breather. AJ runs around to attack, but Joe counters, taking his leg out and brings it back in the ring for a 2 count. AJ fights up, and Joe blocks a suplex. Joe counters another suplex attempt, drops AJ face first. AJ goes to the floor for a breather. AJ runs the ropes and nails a big suicide dive. Seeing AJ face first into the announce table, one of the announce tables, Joe brings him back into the ring for a 2 count. AJ looks to make a comeback, but Joe nails a big clothesline for a 2 count. They trade more big shots as Joe gets rocked. AJ ends up launching himself over the top rope, taking Joe down with a big right hand on the floor. Pan to dueling chance for AJ. AJ brings Joe back in the ring, but Joe rocks him. Joe runs the ropes for a dive, but AJ meets him at the ropes with a kick. AJ fights back in and drops Joe with a clothesline. AJ slides in with a forearm now. Joe was still fired up, working back up to his feet. AJ keeps control with a splash. AJ nails a moonsault into a reverse DDT, but Joe still catches at it too. Joe fights off a Styles Clash attempt. AJ climbs up with Joe on top. Joe headbutts AJ back to the mat. Joe leaps up on the top and nails a huge knee, taking AJ down for another 2 count. Joe with a headbutt. Joe catches AJ with an inverted atomic drop, and Joe drops him for another 10 time. AJ kicks out of 2, more back and forth between the 2. Fan chant for AJ as he gets back up from a power move on Joe. Joe blocks another move and sends AJ into the corner. AJ ends up on the apron, who springboards in for a phenomenal forearm, but has to land on his feet. Joe ends up catching AJ in a huge power slam for a close 2 count. AJ counters the move, but Joe rolls through. AJ with a kick to the mouth. AJ goes for a Styles Clash and nails it in the middle of the ring, but Joe kicks out. AJ looks over at his family and says he's okay. They both slowly get up and trade shots. They unload with strikes, and now Joe takes charge. AJ sends Joe into the corner with a Pele kick. AJ charges into the corner, but Joe catches him and drives him to the mat with a Uranagi. AJ and Joe get up. Let's fan chant. AJ drops Joe with a calf crusher, tightening the hold as Joe reaches for a rope. Joe overpowers and slams AJ into the mat several times. Joe turns that into a coquina clutch. AJ gets his toes on the bottom rope to break the hold. Joe yells out in frustration. Joe signals for a muscle buster and takes AJ to the top. AJ fights back for the top. Joe jumps up with an enziguri and knocks AJ from the top to the floor. AJ lands hard. Joe follows and sends AJ face first into the steel steps. Joe stands on top of the German announce table and takes a mic. Joe addresses AJ's wife and says, Daddy, AJ won't be home, but Joe will, and he'll be her new daddy. AJ stands up and says he's first. AJ charges and knocks Joe from the announce table to the barrier at the timekeeper's area. AJ snaps and takes out 2 snappers. AJ smacks Joe in the back with a steel chair for disqualification. And Samoa Joe wins, but the winner stays a champion for the disqualification because you have to win in the middle of the ring. After the belt, AJ, who is bleeding now, screams out and continues hitting Joe with a chair shot. Fan chant, "Who's your daddy now?" Producers are out to check on Joe, including Adam Pearce and Fit Finley. AJ's wife and daughter look on from the crowd, but it looks like they may have stepped back a bit. AJ charged with a chair, but Finley grabbed it and stopped him. Fan chant one more time as AJ looks at his wife. He tells him to stop. AJ goes to his wife and daughter and apologizes. AJ holds his daughter and fans cheer. AJ hands his daughter back and briefly talks to the referee. AJ walks in the back with his wife and daughter. We go to replays. Joe marches up the ramp, and he looks like he still wants to fight. Back with the break, and Elias is in the ring with a spotlight and his guitar. Elias invites everyone to walk with Elias and start talking about his recent album, calling it the greatest album of all time. Elias figured he would kick off his SummerSlam concert with his greatest song yet. Gets a pop from the Brooklyn crowd that turns into heat when he calls them the disgusting New Yorkers. Elias says he is a global phenomenon, but for now he needs everyone to silence their phones, hold their applause, and shut their mouths. He goes to start playing the guitar, but it breaks in two. And it also kind of exploded into smoke. Fan chant, "You effed up now." Elias throws a little bit of a fit and tosses the guitar and the stool, it looks like. Camera cuts to the back, and that's it for the segment. We go backstage for a Mr. Rogers reunion. as The Miz walks up on the B team and downplays their success, saying if they want, for old time's sake, they can fetch his limousine after he defeats Daniel Bryan tonight. They say they didn't come to wish him good luck. They're about to leave to go celebrate in Brooklyn, but they don't know what the B and B team stands for. Daniel Bryan. They hope Bryan defeats Miz tonight. They go on taunting their former boss before running off as he stares at them, as they've been doing the Roman Reigns the last couple of weeks. Tom Phillips leads us to a video package for the next match. The Miz versus Daniel Bryan. We go to the ring. Out first comes The Miz. Daniel Bryan was out next, of course. They size each other up before locking up. Bryan takes it to the corner, but Miz rocks him with a cheap shot as they break. Miz unloads and rocks Bryan into the opposite corner. Miz beats on Bryan as the referee warns him. Miz with a big kick to the corner as fans chant yes while he kicks. Miz with a running corner drop kick. He charges for another, but Bryan grabs him by the throat. Bryan punches Miz in the corner as the fans chant with him. Bryan unloads with the orgasm kicks in the corner. Miz turns it right back around. Miz drops Bryan with a shoulder and then looks out to the crowd. They run the ropes and Bryan levels Miz with a kick. More back and forth between the two. Maurice was shown at ringside watching the match. So you know that she's going to get involved at some point. Bryan hits a bulldog for a 2 count. Miz turns it back around and uses Bryan's surfboard submission in the middle of the ring, also mocking him with it. Bryan gets free and ends up getting the same submission applied. Bryan with kicks in the corner now. Miz crotches Bryan on the top rope and does a flying clothesline for the second turnbuckle to knock Bryan off the rope. Miz covers for a 2 count. Miz keeps control and drops knees into Bryan's back next. Miz talks trash more and keeps Bryan grounded. They tangle some more. The Miz gets the upper hand, hitting the neck breaker for a 2 count. Miz talks some more trash and rocks Bryan in the face with a right hand, and then another. Miz tells Bryan to stay down and rocks him with another right. Bryan gets up, but Miz rocks him into the ropes. Miz with more lefts and rights, sending Bryan into the corner. Miz places the crowd for some boos. Bryan fights out of the corner with rights. Bryan comes right off the top and lands on his feet. Bryan runs the ropes, ducks a clothesline, and levels Miz. Bad to do any chance for the 2 now. Bryan runs and hits a corner drop kick, and then another. Bryan with more orgasm kicks. As Bryan takes Miz and brings him back in with her Hurricanrana for a 2 count. Bryan more chops and kicks out. Bryan knocks Miz over the top to the floor. Bryan runs the ropes and drop kicks Miz through the ropes, sending him over the German announce table. What a German announce table? Seems like it's going down tonight. Bryan goes to the top and leaps out, taking Miz back down to the floor. Bryan pounds Miz on the outside. Bryan brings him back into the ring and goes up top. Miz cuts him off. Miz rocks Bryan and climbs up with a few right hands as the fans count along. Bryan counters and Miz gets hung upside down in a tree of woe. Bryan kicks Miz while he's upside down. Bryan charges in with a low blow, a low drop kick. Bryan with a belly to back superplex for a 2 count. Bryan with more orgasm kicks in the middle of the ring. Miz counters the shot and nails the DDT, but Bryan still kicks out of 2. Miz with more orgasm kicks. Bryan leads into them as fans chant no for him. That's why I call it orgasm. No, yes, no, yes. Bryan holds up and shakes his head at Miz. Bryan catches a kick and fires back with slaps to Miz. Bryan with a dragon screw leg whip. Bryan drops Miz into the corner with a shot to the face. Bryan chants yes, charges with the knees, but Miz catches him, goes for the figure 4. Bryan tries for the yes lock. Miz slingshots him into the corner of the ring post and nails the skull crushing finale for a close 2 count. Maurice looks on from the front row and is concerned. Miz tries to do the orgasm chant on himself. He charges, but Bryan drops him with a high kick for a 2 count. Miz tries to suplex Bryan from the ring to the floor, but Bryan hangs on and goes to the ring apron. They go at it. Bryan's shin goes hard into the ring post. As he goes down, Miz moves. Bryan clutches his leg and is in pain. Miz takes advantage and brings Bryan back into the ring for the figure 4. Submission hold. But Bryan starts punching Miz while in the hold. Miz fights back. Bryan eventually turns the hold over and tries to make Miz tap out. Miz finally gets to the bottom rope and breaks the hold. They get to the feet and trade punches again. Bryan blocks the skull crushing finale. It rolls Miz up for a 2 count. More back and forth. The pin attempts. Bryan drives elbows into Miz's neck and jaw. Bryan applies the Borgasm lock and rocks Miz into the back of the head with punches. Miz grabs the bottom rope and breaks the Borgasm lock. Miz rolls out to the floor for a breather. Bryan runs and leaps from the apron, nailing the knee strike to the face. Miz crawls over to Maurice and as she chins to him. Bryan with a running drop kick from behind, right in front of Maurice. Maurice yells at Bryan. Bryan kicks Miz into the barrier again, runs the rope for a suicide dive. Miz meets Bryan at the ropes with a foreign object, something that Miz handed him. Brass knuckles, something he got from Maurice, and tosses the object back to Maurice as she hides it. Miz runs back in the ring and pins Bryan for the pin and the win. After the match, the replay shows Maurice handing something to Miz when it was hanging over the barrier at her. Miz stands tall in the middle of the ring, and the referee didn't see it, and has his arm raised while Bryan was laid out in the middle of the ring. Miz rolls to the floor and taunts Bryan before heading up to the ramp. Back for the break, Holzall leads us to a promo for Triple H versus Undertaker. WWE Super Showdown event from Australia on October 6th. Constipated Corbin versus Finn Balor. We go to the ring, out comes Constipated Corbin. Constable Corbin, Triple C. As we see the other international announced teams in the arena. Finn Balor was out next, but the fans popped big because he brought the Demon back to Brooklyn. Corbin argues with the referee, that's not who I'm supposed to wrestle, saying this isn't what he agreed on. The bell rings and Balor charges, dropping Corbin back into the corner. Balor dominated and sending Corbin back to the floor. He flies out over the top. Corbin fight goes back to the floor, and Balor sends a second sling blade on the outside. Balor drop kicked Corbin back into the barrier next. Balor brings Corbin back in the ring and levels him. Balor goes to the top and hits a double stomp. As the fan chants, this is awesome now. Balor keeps a quick offense going. Goes back to the top. Balor hits coup de grace for the easy win. After the match, the Demon celebrated as we go to replays. Still with full music on his face. Balor's music plays as he poses in the ring as Corbin recovers to the outside. Back for the break, and Daniel Bryan is getting his head iced in the back when wife Brie Bella joins him. Brie doesn't even want to get started on Maurice's interference. Bryan is frustrated, ranting on how his return has been a bust as he fought for her to come back just to have the Miz. But Brie talks him up, reminding him of his dreams and his fight to come back. Brie says she's going to stay in the back with Bryan, but he wants her to go out and enjoy the show, saying he will stay in the back and punch some walls or something. U.S. title match, Jeff Hardy versus Shinsuke Nakamura. We go to the ring, out comes Jeff Hardy as Tom Phillips welcomes us to. It shows us some of the events that led to this match. U.S. champion Shinsuke Nakamura was out next. Bell rings in and we get some stalling, some mind games from the two superstars. Jeff starts off the delete chant going. They go at it. Jeff brings out some mind games of his own, mocking Nakamura. Nakamura charges but gets sent from corner to corner. More back and forth now. They go to the floor. Nakamura nails a big kick. Nakamura positions Jeff on the apron and delivers a high knee to the face as the referee counts. Nakamura with a shot to the back of the neck. Nakamura brings Hardy back in the ring for a 2 count. Nakamura keeps Hardy down. Focuses on the shoulder now. Jeff fights to his feet, but Nakamura knocks him back down. Jeff looks to make a comeback. Kicking Nakamura back, Jeff with a sling blade to bring Nakamura down. Nakamura looks to build offense again, but Jeff mounts a comeback. Jeff drops Nakamura for a close 2 count. Nakamura with a knee to the gut. Nakamura drops Hardy with another strike. Nakamura drives a knee into Hardy and keeps control against the ropes as the referee warns him. Nakamura blocks a twist of fate but misses the follow-up. Nakamura places Hardy on the top turnbuckle, but it's countered. Hardy ends up hitting a whisperer in the win for a 2 count. Hardy goes to the top, but Nakamura drops him and delivers a high knee to the gut. Nakamura with a sliding knee for a 2 count. Nakamura drives a big knee strike into Hardy while he's down. Nakamura waits in the corner for Hardy to get up. Goes for the Kasashi, but it's blocked. Nakamura blocks a twist of fate and can't get the low blow. Hardy gets the upper hand and nails the twist of fate. Hardy goes back to the top and hits the Swanton bomb. Hardy crawls to make the cover, but Nakamura kicks out of 2 Hardy nails another twist of fate, and Nakamura goes down. Hard. Jeff goes to top again, but Nakamura rolls under the bottom rope. Hardy turns and goes for the swanton, but Nakamura and Hardy hit the bomb on the edge of the apron. Hardy hits the bomb on the apron. Hardy lands hard and is in pain. Nakamura rolls Hardy back in the ring, kicks him across the back of the neck. Nakamura waits for Hardy to get up and nails a Katana for the pin. After the match, Nakamura takes the title and stands tall as the music hits. Hardy is still down, music interrupts, and Randy Orton comes out to the stage. Orton stares down at the ring and marches in while Hardy is down. Nakamura looks on from the ring apron. Orton moves faster to the ring, but apparently changes his mind. Orton turns back around and heads right back on the ramp and to the back. Hardy gets back to his feet and fans cheer him on after Orton has already left. Back from the break, Cole's Hall leads us to a video package for the next match. Raw Women's title match, Ronda Rousey versus Alexa Bliss. We go to the ring. Out first comes Women's Champion, Alexa Bliss. Normally when the champion comes out first, she's going to lose. She steps at ringside to talk to the Bella twins who are watching from the front row. Natalya is out also to support her friend, and she's wearing her father's jacket, Jim the Animal Neidhart. Ronda Rousey is out next, and she's all business. Marching to the ring, JoJo does formal ring introductions. The bell rings, and Rousey charges into the corners, but Bliss stalls. Each time it plays some mind games, Bliss goes for a cheap shot, but Rousey blocks it. Rousey sends Bliss out of the ring with a strike. Bliss sails on the floor as the referee counts. Bliss comes back in, but quickly retreats to the floor again when Rousey approaches. Rousey talks trash and offers her back to Bliss to safely enter the ring. Rousey takes a seat in the middle of the ring now. Bliss runs right in and applies a sleeper from the back while Rousey just sat there. Rousey easily got up to her feet with Bliss on her back. Rousey turns Bliss a hold and puts her on her shoulders. Rousey drives Bliss down on the back of her neck. Bliss rolls to the floor for a breather as the referee counts again. Rousey ends up dominating Bliss in the ring, tossing her to the mat for a few times. Bliss screams in pain as Rousey turns her arm inside out, taunting her and asking if she's sorry. Rousey finally puts the arm bar in place and finally Bliss taps out. Winner and new champion, Ronda Rousey. After the match, Rousey takes the title and stands tall with it as her music plays. Rousey hits the corner to pose with the title as the fans cheer. We go to replays and come back to Natalya hitting the ring to celebrate with Rousey. Bella Twins hit the ring next, but some fans boo them. Rousey, Natalya, and the Bella Twins all pose in the middle of the ring with their arms raised. Rousey leaves the ring and goes to ringside to kiss her husband, Travis Brown. Rousey hugs Natalya on the ramp again as the celebration continues. Back from the break, Cole's Hall leads us to a video package for tonight's main event. Universal title match, Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. We go to the ring for tonight's main event, and out comes first, Roman Reigns. Out next comes Universal Champion Brock Lesnar with Paul Heyman. But we get the ring introduction from JoJo for Reigns. And she just hands the microphone over to Paul Heyman. My name is Paul Heyman. Crowd goes along with him. And the introduction for the defending Lesnar. Before the bell rings and the music interrupts, out comes Braun Strowman with his Money in the Bank briefcase. Fans pop as Braun enters the ring and calls for a microphone. Braun looks out at the fans as they pop again. Braun says everyone knows the history of the briefcase, and he refuses to be a coward to cash in while his opponent has a back turned. Braun says he's a massive monster, and he does things face to face. Braun wishes good luck to Roman and BC Boy because he's going to be standing. Lesnar steps up and stares Braun down as the BC Boy chant starts up from the crowd. Braun says he will be standing here for the entire match and doesn't give a damn who wins because one of them will get these hands before the night is over. Braun dots a mic and exits the ring as Lesnar stares him down. The bell rings and Reigns immediately nails two Superman punches, and then a third. Reigns calls for a spear and nails it. Reigns back in the corner as Lesnar is stunned. Reigns with another spear. Reigns hits the third spear, but Lesnar pulls him down with a guillotine choke. Lesnar tightens the hold as Braun looks on from the floor. Reigns tries to power up, and as he does, Reigns slams Lesnar to break it, and they both go down. As I kept saying, all you got to do to beat the Beast, give him a couple of spears, a couple of tackles, because he's got the diverticulitis, and you probably could kill him. Heyman screams at ringside as Lesnar pulls Reigns into another choke. Bad to dueling chants. Reigns powers up again and slams Lesnar down to the mat to break the choke. Lesnar rips his gloves off and gets to his feet with bare knuckles. Pancha holding out on Lesnar. Lesnar ducks a Superman punch and hits the German suplex. Lesnar with another German. Lesnar jumps up, yells out now. Lesnar with a third German as a you both suck chant starts up on the crowd. Reigns counters an F5. Reigns runs the ropes, but Lesnar sidesteps. As Reigns was attempting a spear on Brock as he nails Braun on the outside with a spear and takes Braun down. Lesnar goes out, grabs Braun from behind. Lesnar nails an F5 to Braun on the floor. But before he nailed Braun on the floor with the F5, he also nailed Reigns, who nose hold, ran back in the ring. Lesnar smiled, and while Braun and Reigns are both down on the outside, Lesnar tosses Reigns back in the ring. Lesnar grabs Braun's briefcase, but Braun grabs his ankle. Lesnar slams the briefcase into Braun a few times. Lesnar slings the briefcase up the ramp into the stage, sending the papers flying. Lesnar smacks Braun with a steel chair shot on the floor. Lesnar yells at Braun while Braun is down crawling on the ramp. Lesnar returns to the ring with a steel chair in the air, but Reigns nails a spear out of nowhere for the pin and the title. Winner and new Universal Champion, Roman Reigns. After the match, Reigns takes the title and gets up to his feet to a mixed reaction from the crowd. Reigns talks trash to Heyman, who drops to his knees on the outside and pleads. Lesnar rolls out of the ring, and Heyman helps him up. Reigns stands tall in the ring as we go to replays. Reigns hits corners to pose with the title as the music plays. SummerSlam goes off the air with the new Universal Champion celebrating. And that concludes my results for SummerSlam 2018. Thanks again. Peace out. See you on Be. If you don't know, just call me, brothers and sisters.